Peace code keepers, or I guess in this case, thoughts. Oh, the thoughtful. Peace to the thoughtful. There we go. Peace to the thoughtful. Peace and prosperity to the thoughtful. Hey, in this empowerment, I just wanted to discuss the situation with Kanye being canceled by Adidas, Balenciaga, some of the other brands that he's associated with. You know, Forbes said he went from being a $2 billionaire down to 400 million. Um, I don't think it was that drastic. There's some talk that this may have been strategic. This may have been Kanye's way of getting away and getting out of his contracts so he could actually sell direct to the consumer. Now, I don't know. That might be the case. That might not be the case. But the question that I bring today in this empowerment thought is, can you bounce back when you get canceled? Look, if you're working on empowerment, it's an eventuality. That's the word I meant. It's an eventuality that you're going to get canceled at some point. You know, there's going to be somebody's like, I ain't working with you no more. I totally disagree with you. Most likely they're going to be off code, but they're going to say that you're off code. So while you're working towards empowerment, it's eventual. It's eventuality. I always have problems with that word, eventuality, that you're going to get canceled. So can you bounce back from that situation? So when we look at Kanye's situation, after losing these endorsement, and partnership deals, will he be able to bounce back? I venture to say yes. How he does it is going to be interesting to watch. He is a compelling personality, no matter if you think he's bipolar or if you think he's strategic or if you think he's strategically bipolar or he's bipolar, but he's also strategic. However you look at him, good crazy or crazy crazy. Any way you look at it, I believe Kanye is going to bounce back. I believe he's going to bounce back. And I want to believe that you can bounce back as well. So I want you to put yourself in Kanye, and I've been doing this thought practice, this thought exercise. I put myself in Kanye's place. And I said, if I had those endorsement deals and I said something that was considered repugnant by people who were very influential, how would I bounce back from that? If you can come up with 5 ways that you might be able to bounce back from a situation like this, from the situation that Kanye is dealing, I think you put yourself in a great mental space where you're able to deal with the true cost of empowerment. Because if you're focused on empowerment, like the code keepers are, like I am, then you're going to get canceled. There's going to be somebody that's like, nah, we ain't rocking with you. So I would love to come up with 5. And I think I'm going to try, just off the top of my head, I hadn't really thought about this, but 5 ways that he can bounce back. 1, he could go to Ethiopia and he can meet with some of those Ethiopian Jews. He could go to, what's the place? The other side of Palestine. They took over Palestine and they made whatever that country that's predominantly Jewish. He could go there and meet with the few, quote unquote, Black Jews that are there, in that particular place of Israel, right? So in Israel, there's a section where they've allowed some of the melanated Jews, the non-European Jews, to settle there. Many of them came from Ethiopia, but they, come from other parts of Africa as well. And at first, they wouldn't allow those people who were truly Jewish into a Jewish country. The Jews were what's the word I want to say? Discriminating against the Jews, saying you're not Jewish enough. I think if he went there and spent time there, then some of his claims about, or his revealing that, blacks are truly Jewish people, or, that type of conversation could be supported, right? And then he could pivot in his statement. So that's one thing he could do. A second thing he do could be, say, let me do an apology tour and let me meet with a lot of different groups. That's two things he can do. A third thing that he can do is he can go direct to the consumer. And that's been some of the conversation. Some people are saying that Kanye is setting himself up to go direct to the consumer. So these deals that he have been kicked out, the deals that he had been released from, that he was kicked away from, Adidas, Def Jam. Now he's able to go direct to the consumer. So check it out. I think Tiana Taylor was on his label, Good Music. I'm assuming Common. I think Common was on there. I can't remember. I don't keep up with some of that information. So now he could do direct to consumer. He doesn't have to go through Def Jam to release a project. You know what I'm saying? So he can go direct to the consumer. His Yeezys, I wouldn't wear them, but he could go direct to the consumer without going through Adidas. He lost his deal with a Balenciaga. He can go direct to the consumer without going through Balenciaga, and he can actually make more money that way, right? And to be honest with you, if Kanye were to do something that really positively impacted our community, many of us who are not going to rock with him now would actually rock with him. And interestingly enough, the alt-right, those alt-right conservatives, they believe they were supporting and clapping when he said he was going to go DEFCON 4 on that community. And even though their concept of DEFCON 4 may be very different than the vernacular that Kanye used when he said DEFCON 4, I'm going DEFCON 4, the meaning that they associate with it is vastly different. But the alt-right were like, yeah, say that stuff. Because if you remember, the alt-right, the extremely neo-Nazi types, in addition to being, anti-us, they're anti-Jewish as well. So they were cool with it. So in many ways, there's a number, not all, but there's a number of the Trump supporters who are probably secretly in support of Kanye right now. So that's three off the top of my head. A fourth thing that he could do to change the narrative is there's a lot of people who want to interview him now. Nori apologized for the interview, and that's interesting, but I don't think Nori wasn't pressured by Revolt and Diddy's companies to do that. I think he was kind of compelled by his contract to do that. I don't think Nori just did that because he liked to smoke. Nori liked to smoke, but I don't think that there was a hidden hand in that situation. But there are a lot of people who would love to interview Kanye right now. So he could go on a deep interview tour. And the more that he's interviewed and he's saying things that the alt-right and the conservative groups love, he would eventually be supported. So that's four right off the top of my head. I'm just kind of brainstorming. So there's four things that Kanye could do. And I'm not saying it would be uber successful, but I do think there's some merit in just those four ideas that could be extrapolated and they could be expanded upon, and there could be some other things done in addition. So it may be a viable solution if that's what he wanted. But if you were in Kanye's position, how would you bounce back? And if you can do that thought exercise, and like I just did, and come up with 4 ways, then when you get canceled, as you're on your empowerment process, your empowerment journey, when you get eventually canceled, and that's an eventuality, it's going to happen, that you're prepared for it. So to the thoughtful, to the code keepers, I say do a thought exercise and prepare yourself for that moment when you get canceled. I've been canceled numerous times. I'm going to get canceled again, possibly. I try to avoid it. I ain't fronting, no cap, but it's going to happen because we're focused on empowerment. So let's see what you can come up with. And I'll tell you what, in the comments, leave your comment and let me know what some of your thoughts are. How can you bounce back if you were Kanye? And what are some things Kanye could do to bounce back if that's what he desires to do? You know, leave the comments. And I want to say peace, prosperity, and we love you. All right? Peace. Within the so-called Black community, money circulates. In other words, stays in the community one day. In our Latino community, it stays in 1 week, 7 days. All right. And in the Asian community, 30 days. And, Jewish community, a little more than that. And then the general white community stays in there for unmeasurable amount of time. So the HR Green Book is our strategy to address the circulation. And it's simply a directory in online and in an app form. The app's coming soon, where we can find our businesses. Let's see who we have here. So right now we have 14 food trucks. Let's look at restaurants. All right, so let's say I want to look at a restaurant. Let's go with DJs. I'm a DJ. Let's see who else is out here in the DJ world in Hampton Roads. List your business with us. You can simply go to List with Us, and you'll see that there are some options, and we invite everyone to take the free option for right now. So start your search today in the HR Green Book, and let's make sure our money circulates stronger and longer.